Dubois going to make this fight into a bloodbath if he can. It's the only way he wins the fight. So that means he's going to take risks. He's going to do everything that he didn't do in the first fight. He'll try and get...
Life's a risk. You could walk outside, get run over, anything can happen. But in this sport, I'm prepared for this risk. This is a risk that I know that I've been trained from since I was, 5 or 7 years.
Duke McKenzie gives Dubois credit for growing as a fighter, more composed, more precise. But when Usyk's name enters the equation, even that praise stops short. That's the weight of Usyk's presence. Duke knows that despite Dubois' improvements, this challenge is a mountain too steep. Against anyone else, maybe, but against a prime Usyk, it's a whole different beast.
And like I say, if he was fighting anybody else other than Oleksandr Usyk, I would pick him to win. But what they're convinced...
You think he is number 2 heavyweight in the world right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Duke McKenzie delivers the harsh truth. Usyk isn't slowing down, not even close. While Dubois is expected to raise his game, Duke reminds us that Usyk will too, and that's the real problem. You don't outshine a man who thrives under pressure. Dubois' camp might be banking on Usyk fading, but that belief could cost them everything. But while Duke gave a stark warning, Dubois fired back with confidence and passion in his own words.
Still think that what Dubois' team are clearly overlooking is the fact that if Dubois raises his game, then Usyk will raise his game. Usyk isn't shot, he's not over the hill. He's got plenty of miles left on the clock, I believe. And I think if whatever Daniel Dubois brings to this fight, Usyk will still...
Daniel Dubois is clearly fired up, living a dream. Speaking of history and legacy, but dreams don't land jabs, and emotion alone can't outbox a technician like Usyk. The confidence is admirable, but confidence isn't defense. If Dubois is hoping heart alone can carry him, he's in for a rude awakening when Usyk starts downloading data. What would you do in this situation? Tell us in the comments below. Next up, George Fox enters with insight into Dubois' raw power and why he still might be dangerous.
This time around, it's going to be totally different. I'm gonna win for a start, and we're going to just change history. It's going to be, all eyes are going to be on this. This is the biggest fight in the world, and I'm so confident. And
George Fox respects Dubois' power, and who would? The man hits like a sledgehammer, both hands loaded, but against Usyk, landing that perfect shot is easier said than done. George talks fundamentals, but against a ring general like Usyk, even fundamentals fall apart. This isn't about moments, it's about surviving the full 12 without drowning in Usyk's rhythm. Now let's just transition this all to the rematch. Usyk versus Dubois and how these words will impact the war ahead.
Daniel's a heavy puncher. In both hands carries dynamite, and it's just going to be a case of picking his moments, believing in his work, and there are 3 or 4 fundamental things that he must do, and if he does them, he'll have success.
Johnny Nelson tries to read between the lines, hinting that maybe Usyk's heart isn't fully in it anymore, but that's a dangerous assumption. Usyk has never been the loudest man in the room. He's the quiet killer. He doesn't bark, he bites. This isn't a man losing appetite. This is a man calculating every move, biding his time before another clinical performance. If Dubois' camp are interpreting calm as weakness, they're making the same mistake AJ's team made. Twice. Usyk's professionalism isn't a red flag, it's a warning sign for opponents. He prepares like a general going to war. If anything, the more composed he is, the more destructive he becomes. Johnny's view might stir up questions, but the truth is, Usyk's never needed hype to devastate. He lets the fists speak, and come fight night, silence will turn into surgical violence. If you think that's all, wait till you hear Johnny's next breakdown. It goes deeper into the ring IQ gap between these two.
1 foot out already. He's Usyk talking like that. He's got 1 foot out already. If he's talking like that, that means, as far as I'm concerned, I sense his appetite is slipping away. He's very professional, gets the job done, knows what he has to do in the ring and in training. But to me, he's now 1 foot out.
Johnny Nelson absolutely nails it here. The difference between reacting and thinking is everything. Usyk doesn't just fight; he recalculates, repositions, reinvents mid-round. Dubois, for all his power, hasn't shown that mental agility. He remembers instructions, sure, but reacting to chaos and re-engineering a game plan live, that's elite level stuff, and Usyk owns it. Dubois is improving, no doubt, but improvement alone isn't evolution. Usyk is a master at manipulating rhythm, breaking patterns, and turning power punchers into frustrated amateurs. Confidence might get Dubois into the ring, but it won't help when he's being outthought step by step. Johnny highlights the cold truth. Usyk's mind operates in real time, while Dubois' memory might not keep up. And that's where fights are truly lost. Not in the gloves, but in the brain. And just when you think the confidence in Dubois might be fading, Eddie Hearn jumps in with his take, and it's surprisingly optimistic.
Usyk, he has the ability to think in the ring. Daniel has the ability to remember in the ring. And if you can think in the ring, it means you can change the direction of a fight.
Eddie Hearn stays on brand, hyping the fight, giving Dubois that glimmer of hope. But let's break it down. He mentions inactivity. That's a red flag, not a footnote. Missing the Parker fight and going straight into a rematch with a high IQ always fit Usyk. That's dangerous. Yes, it's a great fight for the fans, but for Dubois, it's a mountain climb with no oxygen. Eddie's optimism is promotional, not tactical. Deep down, even he knows Usyk's consistency and movement are a nightmare for punchers who rely on rhythm. This isn't a momentum-based fight, it's a chess match, and Usyk has already seen Dubois' opening gambit. Unless Daniel brings something dramatically new, the result could mirror the first bout, only faster. Eddie's backing his man, but beneath the sound bites, you can sense the nerves. If that didn't convince you, wait until Carl Froch steps in, because his view brings a touch of reality back to the hype.
No, I think I'll give Dubois a shot in that fight. It's a good time. I mean, a little bit of inactivity because of the fight falling through against Joseph Parker, but you know, it's exciting, and I think definitely
Carl Froch keeps it balanced, giving Dubois some flowers while still placing the favorite tag squarely on Usyk's shoulders. And that's the honest truth. Dubois may be a different machine, but is it enough to dismantle someone who's outclassed world champions back to back? Froch's hint about time catching up to Usyk sounds reasonable, but Usyk hasn't shown signs of slowing down. No slurred speech, no lost footwork, no fading gas tank. He's still operating like a fighter in his prime. Froch sees the danger for Dubois but leaves a small door open, yet that door is guarded by one of the smartest, most adaptive fighters of this generation. If Dubois wants to win, he'll need more than self-confidence. He'll need to do what no one has done since Usyk turned heavyweight. That's a tall order, and if you still think this rematch hinges on low blows, wait until Tony Bellew sets the record straight in the next clip.
You land a shot on here, this is a good shot, it's a body shot. The referee didn't do that. Bottom part of the glove was on the actual shorts, on his scrotum area, really quite low, too low really. So it was a legitimate low blow. Had Usyk been told that's not a low blow and the referee would have...
Tony Bellew is having none of the excuses, and he's absolutely right. The low blow narrative was Dubois' only shield after getting dismantled, but Bellew reminds everyone that Usyk fights fair. No dirty tactics, just discipline and timing. Tony points out the obvious, Usyk's skill set is miles ahead. He's been in there with punchers, movers, sluggers, and handled them all. Dubois is powerful, sure, but raw power without elite ringcraft gets exposed fast. Last time Dubois crumbled under pressure, not because of a foul, but because Usyk outboxed and outthought him. Bellew's stance is firm, no shortcuts, no excuses. If Dubois wants redemption, he has to earn it the hard way. And even then, Usyk will be ready with answers Dubois might not have the tools to solve. Simple as that. Next up, Tyson Fury enters with a sharp reminder of what happened before and what Dubois must do now if he wants revenge.
He'll come across a completely different skill set than Oleksandr Usyk. You gotta remember he's been in there.
Tyson Fury offers a half-hearted good luck to Dubois, but you can feel the lack of conviction. The Gypsy King references the infamous body shot, the one that stirred up more debate than action. But even Fury seems to know that banking on landing one lucky punch isn't a plan. Let's get real. Usyk wasn't broken by that shot. He recovered, adjusted, and dominated the rest of the fight. Fury himself knows how hard it is to even land cleanly on Usyk, let alone drop him and finish the job. Do the best you can. Those words from Tyson tell the story. It doesn't scream belief, it screams damage control. If Dubois' best hope is to land the same punch and pray Usyk doesn't recover, that's a shaky foundation for a revenge mission. Usyk isn't coming in vulnerable. He's coming in smarter, sharper, and even more prepared for that specific threat. Fury may be hoping for an upset, but even he knows deep down, unless Dubois shows something drastically new, Usyk is going to pick him apart again, and this time there won't be controversy, just clarity. And just when you thought it couldn't get more direct, Dave Coldwell steps in with a breakdown of what truly separates Usyk from everyone else.
Who would I rather fight right now? Usyk. Because I want me revenge in England. That's all I want. I want a fair shout. And I don't believe I've got a fair shout the last 2 times.
Dave Coldwell gives Dubois some credit, calling him confident and bullish, but he quickly pivots to the reality that too many are ignoring. Usyk might be older, he might have mileage, but he's no ordinary fighter. He's a different animal. That phrase says it all. While others show signs of decline, Usyk's fight IQ, timing, and conditioning remain razor sharp. Even after wars, he doesn't come back looking vulnerable. He comes back looking smarter. Coldwell isn't fooled by the drama around the so-called low blow, because if you remove that 1 second, Usyk was in total control. The rest of the fight was a masterclass in pressure, angles, and resilience. Dubois may be bullish, but charging headfirst into Usyk's trap is suicide. You don't beat a cerebral warrior with confidence alone. You beat him with unpredictability, volume, and sustained tactics, and Dubois hasn't shown that. Coldwell's message is clear. Usyk isn't like the rest. He absorbs, adapts, and then annihilates. Dubois may think he's walking into a wounded version, but what he's really facing is a man who's battle-tested and twice as dangerous now. And if anyone doubts Usyk's greatness, Adam Smith crushes those doubts with a legacy statement you can't ignore.
Fight. Good fight. Where Dubois is now, he's very confident, very bullish. But Usyk's older, he's had more wear and tear. The fights with Fury have taken a lot out of him. Don't underestimate that. But Usyk's he's a different animal. It's a different animal. And ultimately, you got to remember, take away that one shot, whether you thought it was low or not, that one bit of drama, take away that.
Adam Smith doesn't mince words. Usyk is the best fighter of this generation, and how can anyone argue? He cleaned out cruiserweight like a surgeon, then moved to heavyweight and started dissecting elite opponents. AJ was supposed to be too big, Chisora too rugged, Fury too smart. Yet Usyk stood firm, adapted, and conquered every single one. This isn't just skill, this is legacy being carved in real time. Smith's point about the double over AJ hits hard. That's 2 back-to-back wins over a former unified champion. Add the Tyson Fury victory, and you've got a man who has humiliated British heavyweight royalty without breaking a sweat. There's no fluke here. Usyk is the complete package. Footwork, ring IQ, stamina, toughness, accuracy. He's a generational genius, and Dubois is walking into that whirlwind, thinking heart and hunger are enough? Adam's words are a wake-up call. This isn't just a title fight. This is a challenge against one of the sport's immortals. If Dubois isn't ready to rewrite history, he's going to be folded back into it as just another name on Usyk's resume. But if you think Usyk's greatness is just hype, wait till Lennox Lewis himself vouches for the Ukrainian warrior.
Oleksandr Usyk is the best fighter in boxing, period. Of this generation, what he's done at cruiserweight, what he's done at heavyweight, what he's done to all the other British fighters, to do the double over AJ, the double over...
Lennox Lewis, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, throws his weight behind Usyk, and that's massive. Lennox knows exactly what it takes to reign in this division, and when he says Usyk's the man to do it, you listen. He's not guessing, he's recognizing a fighter who's done it all. Olympic gold, undisputed cruiserweight, unified heavyweight, and counting. Lennox praises the pedigree, and that's the part Dubois cannot replicate. Experience under fire, consistency at the highest level, and composure when chaos hits. That's what separates champions from challengers. Dubois has heart, yes, but pedigree is earned, not claimed. Lewis points out that Usyk has done the work, and it shows in every round he fights. He breaks opponents mentally before the physical pain begins. Lennox's belief isn't based on hype, it's based on watching greatness unfold. Usyk doesn't need noise, he needs the bell to ring, and when it does, he delivers. every time. And now, as all the voices collide and the anticipation builds, it's time to look at what's truly at stake in this epic rematch.
Great Britain. It's not an easy task, but he's definitely the man that can go through with it. He's done the work, he's gone through the pedigree, and he's a certified champion. So, I think he has big hopes on doing it. He's going to do it.
This rematch isn't just a fight, it's a career-defining moment that could rewrite heavyweight history or seal an irreversible fate. If Oleksandr Usyk wins again, it solidifies his claim as one of the greatest technicians the division has ever seen. He won't just have beaten Dubois twice, he'll have completely dismantled the myth that size, power, and aggression can overpower elite skill. It would be another brutal reminder that brains beat brawn, and that this man, who conquered cruiserweight, is now ruling heavyweights with the same precision. But if Daniel Dubois somehow shocks the world, everything changes. The questions about his heart, his chin, his composure, they vanish overnight. He becomes the man who dethroned a generational genius, a man who rewrote the script with his fists. But here's where it gets real. Who wants it more? Usyk has already tasted glory, but he fights like a man still chasing legacy. Dubois fights like he's cornered, like this is his one shot to prove he's more than a puncher. It's mind versus muscle, legacy versus desperation. And no matter what angle you choose, the stakes have never been higher. This isn't about belts, it's about validation. If Usyk wins, the division bows to his brilliance. If Dubois wins, chaos erupts in the heavyweight scene. So now it's your turn. Are you backing the genius of Oleksandr Usyk, or do you believe Daniel Dubois will pull off the unthinkable? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This one's gonna be unforgettable.